Most Singaporeans think that hitting $1 million net worth is a lottery win or something reserved for the high flyers in Raffles Place. But here's the reality. By 2026, Singapore is projected to have 592,000 millionaires. That's nearly 12% of our adult population. In 2025 alone, over 1,300 HDB resale flats crossed the $1 million mark, a 45% jump from the year before. What if I told you that the systems already built into our society make hitting that seven-figure mark not just possible, but mathematically predictable? Your CPF earning 4% guaranteed, your HDB appreciating 3 to 5% annually, and the right investment tools returning 7 to 8% a year. Today, we're breaking down the three-pillar system to $1 million. A system that doesn't require you to be a crypto genius, a startup founder, or born into wealth. Just strategic use of what's already in front of you. What's up, guys? Welcome back to World Lumen. If you're in your late 20s or early 30s, you've probably felt the pressure. We're living in a weird time. AI is shifting the job market, inflation is stubborn, and the old advice of just work hard and save feels outdated. But here's the thing. Wealth in Singapore isn't about how much you save. It's about how you manage the systems you're already part of. We're talking about a three-pronged strategy. Property as your forced savings, CPF as your risk-free floor, and external investing for that exponential growth. By the end of this video, you're going to have a blueprint to hit that $1 million net worth by leveraging the unique financial landscape of Singapore. Let's dive in. Let's start with Pillar 1, the system's foundation, your CPF. A lot of guys my age look at CPF as money they can't touch, but I want you to reframe that. Think of CPF as your volatility shield. While the rest of the world is sweating over market crashes, your special account is sitting there, compounding at 4% per year, basically risk-free. The government has extended this 4% floor rate guarantee through December 2026. In the 2026 landscape, with job stability being disrupted by AI, having a solid CPF floor is your ultimate safety net. Here's the actual math. If you're 30 years old earning $5,000 a month, you're contributing 37% to CPF. That's $1,850 every single month. Your employer puts in $850. You put in $1,000. Now here's where it gets interesting. That $1,850 gets split. Roughly 62% goes to your ordinary account for housing, 16% to your special account for retirement, and 22% to MediSave for healthcare. But there's a hidden multiplier most people don't talk about, the extra interest bonus. If you're below 55, you earn an additional 1% on the first $60,000 of your combined CPF balances. That means up to $20,000 in your OA earns 3.5% instead of 2.5%, and your SA earns 5% instead of 4%. Here's the move. The CPF shielding and top-up strategy. Every dollar you put into your SA now is worth significantly more than a dollar put in at age 45 because of the time horizon. By age 55, the full retirement sum is $220,400. If you hit that through compounding, your retirement floor is secured. Wait, don't just dump everything in there. You need to balance your ordinary account for your first property. The goal here isn't to be CPF rich and cash poor. It's about ensuring that by the time you're 55, your full retirement sum is already hit through compounding, freeing up your other cash for aggressive growth. But CPF alone won't get you to $1 million quickly. To accelerate, we need to talk about the biggest asset most Singaporeans will ever own. Let's talk about the property engine. Pillar 2 is property. In Singapore, property isn't just a roof over your head. It's a forced savings account with leverage. Think about it. When you buy a BTO or a resale flat, you're putting down a deposit and taking a loan. As you pay down that mortgage using your CPFOA, you're building equity. Let's use real numbers. A 4-room BTO in 2025 costs around $400,000 to $500,000. You put down 25%. That's $100,000 to $125,000. But here's the kicker. You can use your CPF ordinary account for the entire down payment. No cash required if you have sufficient CPF. Now, with HDB prices appreciating 3 to 5% annually based on recent trends, here's where the magic happens. If your $400,000 flat appreciates by just 3% in 1 year, that's $12,000 in value gain. But remember, you only put down $100,000. That $12,000 gain on your $100,000 investment is actually a 12% return on your equity. This is the leverage effect. You control a $400,000 asset with only $100,000 down. For our demographic, the 25 to 34-year-olds, the BTO to executive condo or BTO to private flip is the classic wealth-building play. But here's perspective. Don't over-leverage. With AI potentially changing which industries are profitable, you don't want to be house-proud but bank account empty. Executive condos currently price at around $1,500 to $1,700 per square foot, while private condos in similar areas exceed $2,000 per square foot. That's a meaningful 20 to 30% discount for condo living. The goal is to use the property as a hedge against inflation. By the time you reach your mid-30s, the goal is to have $200,000 to $400,000 in home equity. That's nearly halfway to your million-dollar goal, often without you even feeling like you're investing. Now, the third pillar. This is where you pull ahead of the pack: external investing. If CPF is your floor and property is your walls, investing is your roof. It's what scales. To hit $1 million, you cannot rely solely on Singapore-based assets. You need exposure to global growth, specifically in tech and AI. In 2026, we're seeing a massive shift. We're moving away from just picking stocks to using broad-based ETFs that track entire markets. For a 30-year-old Singaporean, your portfolio should likely look like this. Low-cost broad market ETFs. Think S&P 500 or world markets. Let's talk specifics. CSPX tracks the S&P 500 with a 0.03% expense ratio. That's dirt cheap. VWRA gives you the entire world, developed and emerging markets, about 3,600 stocks in one fund, with a 0.19% expense ratio. These are Ireland-domiciled UCITS ETFs, which means you pay 15% dividend withholding tax instead of 30% with US-listed ETFs. This matters over decades. Now, about returns. The S&P 500 has historically delivered around 10% annually before inflation, about 7 to 8% after inflation. That's your benchmark. The strategy here is dollar cost averaging, or DCA. You take your take-home pay after your CPF and mortgage are settled, and you automate it. Even $500 a month into a diversified portfolio at 7 to 8% annual returns creates a snowball effect. Let's do the math. $500 per month at 7% returns, compounded over 20 years, gives you approximately $260,000, not including your CPF growth or property equity. You're stacking systems. And here's the AI factor. In 2026, AI companies aren't just tech anymore. They're reshaping finance, healthcare, logistics. Allocating a portion to the companies building the future gives you exposure to the next wave. But don't chase meme stocks or crypto without understanding them. The goal is steady, compounding growth that you don't have to think about every day.
So, let's tie it all together.
Here's the actual timeline. At 25 to 28, you're building your CPF through work. You're saving up for your BTO down payment using CPFOA. You're not touching your special account. Let it compound at 4 to 5% with the extra interest bonus. At 28 to 30, you get your BTO. Your CPFOA starts building equity automatically every month as you pay down the mortgage. Now you begin dollar cost averaging, $500 monthly into global ETFs like VWRA or CSPX. By 35, here's where you are. Your $400,000 BTO has appreciated to around $460,000 at 3% annual growth. You've paid down maybe $60,000 of principal. That's $120,000 in home equity. Your CPF special account has grown to around $80,000 through contributions and compound interest. Your investment portfolio? 7 years of $500 monthly at 7% returns gives you roughly $55,000. Total net worth at 35, approximately $255,000. You're a quarter millionaire, and most of it happened automatically. By 40, the compounding accelerates. Your property, $530,000 value, $150,000 paid down. That's $180,000 equity. Your CPFSA, $150,000. Your investments, 12 years of DCA brings you to $120,000. Total at 40, $450,000, you're nearly halfway there. By 45, this is where the system really pays off. Property equity, $250,000. CPF, $250,000. Investments, $260,000. Total net worth, $760,000. And if you've been slightly more aggressive, maybe $700 monthly instead of $500, or your property appreciated at 4% instead of 3%, you've crossed the $1 million mark. This isn't luck, it's mathematics. It's systems working in parallel. The world is changing fast, and the old ways of just saving aren't enough. But in Singapore, we have one of the most robust financial systems in the world. CPF as your risk-free floor, property as your forced savings engine, global ETFs as your growth accelerator. If you understand how to use these three systems together, that $1 million net worth isn't a dream. It's a milestone waiting for you to reach it. And the best part? Most of it happens automatically once you set it up. If you found this breakdown helpful, hit that like button. It helps the algorithm show this to more people who need to see it. And if you want more deep dives on how wealth and systems actually work in Singapore, please subscribe. We're building a community of people who understand that financial freedom isn't about luck, it's about leverage. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.